when I came to Sac, you know, looking for the hip hop community, that's how I got like more involved in that. Was what drew me to Sacramento, you know, seeing all the beat makers and the hip hop artists, you know, and that naturally drew me to Sacramento. So I would say I'm from Auburn. I live in Auburn, but like I identify with the Sacramento culture, you know.
Yeah, I feel like that's natural, you know what I mean? Like I always tell people, like, I come from Fairfield, right? So when I was growing up out there, like I looked at Sac as like the big city in a sense, you know what I mean? Because it's like Fairfield's kind of like a small farm town, you know what I mean? Even though it's like it's closer to the bay, I would take a lot of field trips out to Sac, like downtown Sac and stuff like that. And I always felt like I was going to like the big city and stuff like that. So I definitely understand when like people like from Auburn and Roseville and like even like Davis, like they find like a kinship, or like they feel like like, you know what I mean, like, oh yeah, I'm from Sac too, you know what I mean?
I completely understand as well. It's the same for me. Being from Auburn, it's you know, a small town and all that, but you naturally get drawn to a city like Sac.
Somewhere bigger, you know what I mean, more stuff going on. I feel like, because like even if like you're like, say we're like in SoCal, if you were like to tell them I'm from Auburn, like, oh yeah, you're from Sac, you know what I mean? Like they all consider it all they all jumble it up together like we do with LA, you know what I mean? Like someone's like, oh, I'm from I don't know, some insert random city from Orange County, or you're from Hemet, shout out to the homegirl wave, you know what I mean? Like if you're from Hemet, I'm like, oh yeah, you're from LA, you know what I mean? You're from SoCal. So like
it's just like the default answer when people, when I'm outside of Sac, when they ask me where I'm from, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm from Sacramento.
That's dope though. I feel like probably like being from like Auburn, you know what I mean, like it gives you a different outlook, you know what I mean, than you would have like growing up exactly like in Sacramento, as far as like the music taste and like how you approach it, you know what I mean? Because
originally I was like more like a rock metal kind of guy.
That's dope.
I was super into like heavy metal, and I guess, you know, being in a town like Auburn, that was more of
the norm,
music like that, you know. But you know, I got into hip hop as a teenager, you know, and then, you know, in Auburn there wasn't really much of that, but you know, when I came to Sac, you know, looking for the hip hop community, that's how I got like more involved in that. Was what drew me to Sacramento, you know, seeing all the beat makers and the hip hop artists, you know, and that naturally drew me to Sacramento.
So what I would say, like, all right, as a teenager, what was like that first introduction into hip hop, like you would say?
To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar.
That's fire. That's a good introduction.
Because I was into metal, but I was also getting into jazz at that point, and that album, as we know, has a lot of jazz, and that was just like the perfect introduction into how just rich and you know, intricate hip hop as a genre can be. I can't
imagine like that being like the first hip hop album, like, because when Pimp a Butterfly came out, like, I feel like it was too advanced for me, at least. You know what I mean? Like it went so over my head, bro. And then as I got older, I appreciate that album so much. Like like jazz, funk, everything is it's amazing, like a combination of all those genres.
It changed my life. It's a masterpiece in the purest form. Just in how it encapsulates so many genres and has so many themes, and it just, not only did it put me onto hip hop, but it put me onto other styles as well. Like you said, like it has funk influences as well, you know. So that let me, it's like a pipeline to multiple different genres.
Go down that rabbit hole for sure. One thing I appreciate about that album for sure is, like, for me, like, I'll say like my early introductions, like at least for like my personal taste, was like Doggy Style, early Wu-Tang stuff.
Oh, right on, hell yeah.
The first rap song I ever memorized was Lupe Fiasco, Kick Push.
Oh, I love that song.
But one thing I loved about all those old albums, bro, is like the skits. And that's one thing I love about Kendrick Lamar. Like he incorporates those skits so well into his albums, and I feel like that's an important piece of hip hop that kind of got lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it makes an album not just a collection of songs, but it's now thematic. It's a story. It has a lineage, you know, that's going on. You know, it's linear now. It's storytelling. You know?
I love that. That's one thing I always loved about, especially that album. Like the skits on Pimp a Butterfly are like so educational, bro. Like it's just so deep. But if you really listen to like the spoken word he's saying, then like he has a part at the very end where he's having I forgot who he's talking to.
The interview with Tupac.
But in that, bro, that that is such a beautiful piece of work. Like I can't lie.
Absolutely, because there's just so much that can be analyzed, not just musically, but on a conceptual level as well. And it's just it's a masterpiece, and it changed my life. As a musician.
So you say like that's like one of the influences on your sound is like that type of I would say like the again like mixing these different genres and stuff like that, or like.
Yeah,
because like you said the rock influence, and you like hip hop. Is like any other genres that you like to incorporate or what?
Like I'm really into what I'm gonna play tonight. It's gonna be a lot of dance music, like UKG, UK garage, house, some jungle, Jersey club. So to answer your question, like I personally, and I feel like this is not just me, but just like the times we live in with music. Like I feel like we're, as artists, and DJs, we blend all type of styles now. It's not like we are open to all types of styles, and we like to blend that and bridge, all the styles and genres together now. It's very cohesive now, and I definitely try to do that with my music. Bring in influences and styles from other genres and bridge the gap.
I feel like at least for our generation, right? I feel like we grew up. And like you said, like for instance, like I grew up in a very R&B based household, a lot of old school soul, R&B, funk music, you know what I mean? And then as I got older, I started getting into more of the hip hop, and then after that it came like the dance music and stuff like that. And I feel like our generation is just more diverse. And it speaks more through like everything that we create, you know what I mean? Like we're not just so close. Like back in the day, it'd be like, oh, I like punk music and that's it. You know what I mean? Like that's all I listen to, you know what I mean? But now it's like you can be someone who's punk as hell, you know what I mean? But you also love Kendrick Lamar, you also love Tyler the Creator, you also love K Tronada and Fred again and all these different things, you know what I mean? I feel like that's just, I don't know, I feel like that's something I noticed about our generation a lot, you know what I mean? Like a lot of our creators are like that.
Absolutely. I think it's in large part because of the internet, we had the privilege of having so much access to so many types of music.
We were the first YouTube babies for sure.
Of course, we had YouTube, and that like put us on to not only popular music, but also underground music as well,
cuts,
so that really just, we had a wealth of music, to inspire us and grow with, and that really made us this very versatile generation in the sense that we can listen and incorporate elements from all types of styles into one.
We can find those connections. Yeah, I agree for sure. What made you get into like the dance music and stuff?
Boiler Room.
Okay, hell yeah.
I was really into hip hop, like I was really into like the LA beat scene, like Flying Lotus, Knowledge stuff. And artists like Knowledge had Boiler Room sets, and
some of the best ones for sure. Before it got watered down. Shout out to Boiler Room though. I still love y'all, man. That
era, like 2009 to like 2014 era of Boiler Room was just like
peak.
It's just such a culturally rich like library of music. So that LA beat scene showed me Boiler Room, and then like I started listening to Boiler Room sets that were more dance oriented, like the K Tronada one's a big one, DJ EZ from the UK, that's a big one.
Fire,
so it was Boiler Room that really put me on to just, because I was coming from a hip hop background where I was like listening to beats, but it's a different type of like scene,
Facts,
DJ wise,
100%,
and then but discovering Boiler Room and seeing like just the whole world that there is of dance music, that really just changed me and made me want to be a part of that,
Open your mind for sure. I feel like I have a very similar experience. Like I feel like I don't know, I almost like contribute Boiler Room for my like love for dance music too. Like it was like during the COVID time, and it was
same.
I had nothing to do but watch. I'll say it was like just that. I want to give it exactly the Boiler Room, but that type of vibe. You know what I mean? Like you're online and you're just searching looking at music and DJ sets. Like that's like all I had to do during COVID. Like I was listening to DJ sets all day. Like I'll be on Twitch just looking up, type in DJs, and like you know what I mean. Like I'll find a random DJ. Like shout out to Four Colors Zach. Shout out to of course Jazzy Jeff. Like he did the Magnificent House Parties and stuff like that. And that was like, I feel like he made me feel like it was okay for me to dabble into that scene because he's of course a hip hop DJ, you know what I mean, and that's like one of my idols, and they're like, oh, he's playing house music. I gotta get well versed in house music then, you know what I mean. So it was like I felt like that was like the first intro, and then like so as far as like, cause again, dance, like you describe dance music very well, like all the genres you named. I feel like what's like one of the ones, like what do you lean towards more, you know what I mean, like what are these like doesn't matter to you?
At the moment, it's really been that 130 to 140 range of UK garage and Jersey club.
Fire, yeah,
I feel like right now, especially, I mean, I was into it, I started getting into it like 2022, 2023, but recently those styles have blown up a lot these last couple years.
Yeah, it has been getting popular,
Yeah, and those styles, just seeing the growth it's had in the last couple of years really like has inspired me, because UK garage in specific, I really enjoy it because it has a really rich history, and also it has just such a variety of sounds. You know, you could have heavy bass stuff, but you could also have more R&B,
more soulful
stuff, and I really enjoy that blend, you know, that you hear in those mixes, you know, from DJs. Like,
dang, I feel like I don't want to ask you this question, but I have to. What's the difference between jungle and garage? And it's like everybody don't think about it too much. Everybody answers this like in a different way, I feel like, but it's like, what do you draw the difference?
For me, well, I'm a bit of a nerd, so I'll give you like the reason I got into those styles was because the history of that music, you know? And I really like the history and the story, you know. Garage, you know, came from U.S. garage, you know, New York garage scene from the early 90s, you know, artists like Masters at Work and MK, you know, who inspired guys like Todd Edwards and Tough Jam, and you know, in that case, in the case of garage, it was 4 on the floor music, you know, you know, like a house type beat, you know. But you know, in the case of garage, they started speeding it up, you know, because they were playing it late at night, and to keep the dance floor, you know, to keep people on the dance floor, they were speeding it up, you know, to keep the energy up, you know. So they were speeding up from like 126, 128 to like 130, you know. And whereas in the case of jungle is more, you know, the lineage is traced back more to dancehall and reggae, you know, and dub, you know, from Jamaica. And in that case, they were working with breaks, you know, so they were speeding up breaks at 160, and they started. But there is a connection between those genres, you know.
No, for sure.
Speed garage, you know, I feel like it was the first style that really started bridging the connection between garage and jungle, and then obviously by the late 90s you started to see like more dark two-step garage, which would eventually become dubstep, and that. So the connection's always been there, you know, and that's what I love about both those styles, you know, and about the UK, how like those genres are so they're two worlds, but they're so wonderfully connected.
You know? Facts. And that's what I just love about the rave culture in general. Is like, again, like, all right, so like coming up like in the Bay, right, is like, of course the hyphy movement was like hella big, but like the people don't realize how connected the hyphy movement and the rave culture was, you know what I mean, at the time. It was like, because they were like in the same places, like the same venues, like the places that would accept the rave culture was the places that would accept the hyphy movement, you know what I mean? So they were hanging out in the same
big overlap,
big overlap. And it was like I just appreciate how like the rave culture, like they incorporate everything almost. It's like you go to a rave, bro, and you'll hear anything, and it's like I feel like that's what the music should be like, you know what I mean? Like that's,
of course,
it's beautiful,
there's something for everybody, you know, and that's what I love about it, you know.
Like last time I went to a rave, like I heard hip hop, I heard some reggae, it was like, you know, hella house music, some hard styles, some dubstep, you know what I mean? It's like a little bit of everything, like, and if you don't like that particular little section right now, give it 10 minutes and they're gonna get out of it.
You're gonna like,
you know what I mean?
Because I was of that opinion, you know. At first, I didn't really, you know,
that's how I was too. I wasn't really, I didn't appreciate it at all until like I got exposed to that scene, and then it was like, oh wait, I'm kind of missing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's how I felt like.
It's like, I've been hella into that 160 sound, that 130. I feel like,
it's a beautiful world of music, you know, and
it's fun,
and it's been really interesting how, because those styles in the last like 3 years they've really blown up, garage and jungle, you know, and
people have been pushing the limits. Like a lot of creators been pushing it, and it's like crazy dope to see. Like one person we got in the building, she's not on mic right now, but shout out to Virgo. She's been going crazy. Like I love everything that she's been putting out, And yeah, you know, I mean, a lot of people from the Flip a Beat been going crazy.
Oh,
and, like you said, that 130, 145 range. Like I've been hearing crazy stuff coming out, especially just like in Sacramento alone.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's dope to see, because for a long time that wasn't something that you would associate with the city. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no. And artists like Beats by Virgo made me really comfortable with that style of music. You know, because I was originally like just hip hop. You know, but seeing her perform her jungle tunes and her house tunes made me definitely become more comfortable with it, you know, and embrace that side.
Hell yeah, I appreciate you for pulling up.
Oh, of course.
I love everything that you're talking about, bro. Yeah. We're going to get back into it real quick. Going to take a quick little short break. And,
of course, yeah.
Yes, sir.